The city hadn't woken up yet. Fog hung low over New York's gray streets as the city quietly braced for another day. Derek Jeter was on his usual morning run around Central Park, earbuds echoing old baseball commentary in his ears, until something under a bridge caught his eye. A small figure slumped against cracked concrete. A thin, tattered blanket barely covered him, and he clutched a worn yellow backpack. As Derek moved closer, the details sharpened. A boy, maybe 10 or 11. No socks, only one shoe, matted hair. But what stopped Jeter cold were the boy's eyes, trapped somewhere between emptiness and desperation, between life and something just beneath it. Derek stopped. After a moment of hesitation, he crouched and asked gently, "Hey kid, you all right?" The boy jolted. In an instant, he was up and running, but in his panic, he left the backpack behind. Derek didn't follow. He just stood there, eyes fixed in the direction the boy had vanished, then looked down at the bag now in his hands. He didn't open it, but something dangled from the half-zipped side, a worn baseball glove. And that's when something inside Jeter cracked. This wasn't just another face on the street. This was a silent cry from a life too afraid to step back onto the field. Derek didn't turn the bag over to the police. He didn't leave it behind. He carried it with him all day, like a question he couldn't stop asking. Who was that kid? Why did he run? Who did the glove belong to? That night, he finally opened the bag. Inside, a torn notebook, crushed protein bars, a rusted water bottle, and an old t-shirt, faded and wrinkled. On it, Bronx Eagles Little League. Jeter's heart sank. This kid hadn't just watched baseball, he'd played it. The next morning, Derek went back to the same bridge. He brought water, sandwiches, a blanket, and maybe, just maybe, a piece of his own conscience. The boy was there again. This time he didn't run, but he didn't speak either. Derek sat beside him without a word. Minutes passed. Then a soft voice broke the silence. "Was that my bag? With you?" "Yeah," Derek nodded. "Wanted to return it. What's your name?" "Eli. But my dad, he used to call me number 3. He'd yell, 'You're up next!' Silence. Then Eli began to speak, slow, choking on the words. His mother had died from an overdose years ago. His father spiraled, first into alcohol, then into rage. A few months ago, he walked out the door, promising he'd be back. He never came back. What was left? This bridge, that bag, and a baseball glove that held everything Eli once believed in. Derek didn't look away, because he saw it clearly now. Eli wasn't just homeless. He was one of the many the system had quietly pushed into the shadows. And this time, Jeter wasn't going to let him disappear. Derek tried placing Eli in one of the city's youth shelters, but the process was like hitting a wall. "Come back tomorrow. Fill out these forms. No space available. He'll have to wait." Every answer felt like another locked door. The system was too slow, too heavy, but Derek wasn't. Instead of waiting, he activated his own foundation. That evening, he arranged temporary housing for Eli, quietly, without media, without fanfare. They sat at a small pizza place that night. Eli barely touched his slice. His eyes were lost in the reflection on the window. But something was changing. For the first time, someone was treating him like just a kid. No questions, no case files, no expectations. "Are you really Derek Jeter?" "Yeah, I used to wear number 3 on the field." Eli nodded, his voice suddenly fragile. "My dad liked number 3, but not me." The words didn't just hang, they pierced. Derek didn't answer. He didn't have to. Sometimes the heaviest words need only a look in return, and sometimes that look plants the first seed of trust a child has ever known. Eli pulled a photo from his pocket. Folded, faded, a small boy in a baseball uniform, in the arms of a smiling woman. His mother. Eli pointed to the glove in the picture and whispered, "She got it for me. My first glove. Back then, life felt easier." His eyes still shimmered, but it wasn't hope. It was the flicker of a memory slipping through his fingers. He'd once played for the Bronx Eagles Little League. His mom brought him to every practice. Then one day, it all vanished. She didn't wake up. His dad slowly disappeared, and the sound of the game went quiet. That night, Derek made a decision. Eli didn't just need a place to stay, he needed a place to belong again. A team, a purpose, something real. The next morning, Derek would head to the Bronx, track down Eli's old coach, and reopen a door the world had slammed shut. Because giving a glove isn't enough, you have to help a kid believe he still belongs inside it. Getting back on the field? Sometimes it starts with warming up the heart, not just the hands. The next morning, Derek drove to the Bronx Eagles field. The fences were rusted, the grass patchy, but the sound of kids laughing still echoed. The field was worn, but not forgotten. Coach Travis was still there, tossing balls to a new batch of kids. When he saw Derek Jeter walking up the bleachers, his jaw dropped. "Jeter? Here? Is this a prank?" "Nope, I came to ask about a kid. You remember Eli?" Travis paused, brows furrowed, then slowly nodded. Small kid, quick feet, fast reflexes. But when his mom disappeared, so did he. That house was a war zone. His dad, dangerous. The kind of dangerous that keeps a coach up at night. Derek brought Eli to the field later that day. He wasn't wearing a jersey, just the same worn sweater and thin sneakers. His clothes sagged, his shoulders even more. As they stepped onto the dirt, the other kids turned, whispering. Eli kept his eyes down. Derek didn't make a speech. He didn't introduce him like a hero. He simply handed Eli a ball. "It's time you stepped back onto the field." Eli gripped it tight, his palms trembled, but he didn't let go. He straightened his back, lifted his eyes, and threw. The ball cut through the air, clean, sharp, full of weight that had nothing to do with its size. It carried heartbreak, silence, and something deeper, the will to try again. The silence broke. "Yo, that was sick," one of the kids yelled. Coach Travis whistled. "That kid's not going anywhere. He's staying on this team." Derek smiled, but he knew this wasn't the finish line. It wasn't even the first inning. Eli wasn't just returning to baseball. He was learning how to return to life. And sometimes, for a child who's lost everything, just being allowed to play is the beginning of healing. A month had passed. Eli was now attending practice every day and sleeping safely at night in a supportive housing program funded by Derek's foundation. He had re-enrolled in school. On his first day, his palms were sweaty, but when he saw his name written on the board, he smiled. He was no longer just a number. He had a name again, Eli Marcus. Derek visited him whenever he could. Sometimes he sat quietly in the bleachers, just watching. And when Eli swung at the ball, there was joy in his eyes. But there was something else, too. Eli had started helping others. One day, a new kid showed up, nervous, shaking, unsure. Eli walked over, fixed his jersey collar, and said with a small grin, "First pitch is always scary." He had grown, not just taller, but wiser. Then, one afternoon after school, Eli walked into Derek's office holding a cardboard box. He handed it over without a word. Inside was the old, worn-out baseball glove, the same one from under the bridge, and tucked beneath it, a folded note. "This glove reminded me of my mom, but now I want it to remind someone else. Not just of the past, but of the future. Maybe it'll find another kid's hand, just like you found mine." Derek's eyes welled up. Eli looked away, voice low. "It's not to say thank you. It's because I want to be someone like you." Derek knelt to meet his eyes. He placed a hand on Eli's shoulder. "You'll be better than me, because you got a second chance, not just in baseball, but in life. And you're using it like a pro." As the camera faded out, Eli was back on the field. His glove was new now, but his spirit still carried the weight of the old one, with one difference. This time, the glove held the heart of a kid who believed in himself, because sometimes being seen is all it takes to rebuild a life. And sometimes, all it takes is one person to stop, kneel under a bridge, and hear the scream no one else noticed, just like Derek Jeter did.